Let's explore autistic history and the Autism Wars. This is part 91 of a series. All right, we left off with an article that was interviewing a parent named Ellen Bolt, who was also affiliated with Cure Autism Now. This was an article that was published October 18th, 1998 in the Contra Costa Times. And I shared the first part of it in the video before this, and I'm going to pick back up here where I left off. They are speaking to the legislation they want enacted for autism research and funding. And they're stating it costs $13 billion annually to treat autistics, the 400,000 that they're aware of at that time. So I'm going to go into a quote. All these families are going through this, and it seems every time they have to reinvent the wheel and fight along the way. It's exhausting, she said. There's no need for that if people were better informed. Imkin explains that parents can determine whether their child has symptoms of autism by observing early stages of development. For example, simple signs to look at are if a child does not point with an index finger to show interest or ask for something, does not engage in pretend play or with other children, or does not make eye contact. All right, she eventually wants to pass legislation that would require all pediatricians to make these observations during regular checkups. It's so simple, that's what's so frustrating, Imkin said. The information is not out there because autism is such a scary, bad thing that people don't want to address it. I keep focusing on it because I feel like I don't have a choice. I feel like I've been drafted into this. My son was born to us because clearly this is what I'm supposed to be doing at exactly this time, and I keep working on this because I know we are going to be successful. Right, so it shares a note to read more about the Cure Autism Now political action campaign that Elizabeth is working on. Please visit our action pages. So that would be the paper it ran in, I think. Yeah, so there we go. Push, 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 push for this legislation. What are they including in this legislation? Well, let's talk about who is active and involved in pushing for this legislation. We have the Autism Coalition for Research and Education, the ACRE. And this was an organization launched by parents of autistics and others in 1995, and it existed as it was, or as its own separate group until 2005, which in autistic history is a pivotal year because that is the year that Autism Speak launches here in the States and takes many of these organizations that I'm speaking about and merges them under their Autism Speaks umbrella. So, yeah. All right, so the Autism Coalition for Research and Education, the ACRE, was formed in 1999 to give a national voice to non-autistic parent advocates and their parent-led autism organizations. The ACRE was co-founded by Kevin Murray and 3 board members. And it's referred to as the Autism Coalition for short. The Autism Coalition's mission was to work with national, state, and local organizations that promoted autism research, education, and supportive services. The primary goal was to raise funds to accelerate biomedical and applied research, and to work with existing organizations to find the cause, treatments, and cure for autism. ACRE also worked to raise autism awareness. Now, the ACRE attempted to join the overlapping and often warring parent-led autism organizations into a single body to better address the concerns of the autism community. Again, you got it. Autistics weren't included in any meaningful manner in the leadership or the goals of the organization. The The Autism Coalition boasted about sponsoring the autism community's largest single fundraising events, including the Night of Too Many Stars, which aired nationally on NBC. Also, the Autism Coalition was proud to be an early sponsor to the pilot research studies that brought new talent to the field of autism and were integral to the development of autism legislation that later morphed into becoming a part of the Child Health Care Act of 2000. Now, this act authorized the establishment of the Centers of Excellence for Autism Research and Treatment. Another initiative was the creation of an annual symposium titled Autism Organization Leaders Council. This was attended by the major autism advocacy groups at that time, including Cure Autism Now, National Alliance for Autism Research, and the Autism Society of America. At that point, autism prevalence was touted as 1 in every 166 children. The Autism Coalition merged with Autism Speaks in 2005. The goal going forward was to add those critical missing pieces and launch a national patient network for researchers to have open access to an enormous set of data on autistics of all ages and types. It was thought to reduce the high cost and speed the pace of research to lead to real answers for autistic children. Here is a quote from Kevin Murray, a co-founder of the coalition. Says here, with the guidance and energy of Autism Speaks co-chair Suzanne and Bob Wright, and with your help, the Autism Speaks campaign will turn the tide on this mysterious epidemic. And that was stated by Kevin Murray. So the projects the organization was noted for was Night of Too Many Stars, Child Health Care Act of 2000, Centers of Excellence, Autism Organizations Leaders Council, and the 10-year Autism Research Roadmap. So who were the organizations that were affiliated with this coalition? I'm going to share those. All right, of course, Cure Autism Now, Dan Marino Foundation, Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation, the National Alliance for Autism Research, Organization for Autism Research, OAR, Unlocking Autism, Autism Speaks, First Signs, Families for Effective Autism Treatment, FEAT, Foundation for Educating Children with Autism, FECA, Holistic Learning Center, Max Foundation, the UC Mind Institute, the New England Center for Children, NECC, Schaefer Autism Report. I hadn't even delved into that. That's another giant rabbit hole. The IACC, which is the Interagency Autism Coordinating Committee, and U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, U.S. Department of Education, NIH, and NIMH. Wow, that's a lot. But here are some names that sound familiar that were affiliated with this organization as well. Of course, Kevin Murray, John Shaystack, Portia Iverson, Suzanne Wright, Bob Wright, Bernie Marcus, Phil Geyer, Dan Marino, Doug Flutie, Emily Gerson-Sains, Rita Bigelow, James Schwab, Paul Levine, Gary Mayerson, Robert Smeagol, Michael Brogioli, Ann Hyatt, Tony Bricado, Maureen Friolet, and Valerie Delaney. Some of those names popping for you? All right, I'm going to wrap that up here. We are going to go forward in 1999 and learn more about what was happening and this legislation that they were working on. This is the reason for the season, folks. This is why autistics are silenced and muted from this conversation, because we will not comply with their agenda. And this is the agenda right here. All this legislation, all this research, all of it.